This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, Rabbi Sai. So back to the regularly scheduled Navi Hoshea, Parak Yud, Pasuk Ches. Pasuk Vav. Pasuk Vav, just kidding. Pasuk Vav. Gam Oisai, also him, it too. La'ashur Yuval will be brought to Ashur, Mincha, a offering Lamelech Yarev, for the king Yarev. Bashna Ephraim will be ashamed. V'yevosh Yisrael me'atzaseh, and Yisrael will be ashamed from its counsel. What does this mean? It too will be brought to Ashur. What's the it? Says Metzudas David. Gam Oisai. Just like the nation will be brought to captivity, Kain Yuva Gam Ha'egal B'Shvi. The calf will be brought to captivity. La'ashur, Liyos Lamincha El HaMelech, to be an offering to the king. B'Shana, in the year, Bashna, ashamed, Az Yikabel Ephraim Boishes. Then Ephraim will receive embarrassment. Amasha Avdu L'Loy Aloya, that it worships something that's not a god. In other words, not only will the people be exiled to Assyria, the gods, the calves made out of silver and gold that you erected will be dismantled and be brought back to Ashur, and then it'll be quite shameful for you when you realize, you're worshipping nothing. V'yevosh me'atzasei, from the eitzah of making the calves. Nidme Shomron Malka. Shomron's king has been Nidme silenced. Kiketzef al pnei mayim. He's like foam upon the water. You ever go to Niagara Falls and there's all this foam, which is disgusting actually. So kiketzev, it's like foam on the water. Let's see Rashi for a moment on Pasuk Vav, on the previous Pasuk. Gam oisai la'ashur Yuval. Zeh haya b'shnas shtei mesrei la'achaz. This was in the 12th year of Achaz's reign. Vayor Hashem es ruach payal melech Ashur. Vayigleim laruveni v'lagadi. Hashem stirred the spirit of Pul, king of Ashur, and he sent them to Ruvain and Gad on Ever Layard. And he removed them. And this will be brought to Melech Yarev. Who's Melech Yarev? Melech Yarev is another name for Sancherev. Boishna Ephraim Yikach. Ephraim, referring to the king of Ephraim, Yeravam, will be embarrassed that they set up an Egal. Yisrael will be embarrassed from the council that they advised to make this Egal. So now Pasuk Zayin, Shomron will be silenced, they'll be like foam on the water. It says the Metzudas David, Nidmeh Shomron Malka. Hamelach Asher b'Shomron, Nidmehu. They'll be comparable to, the way the Metzudas teaches it a little differently than we said, comparable to Keketzef, Heim Ho'avabuos. They are the bubbles. They're only there a short time. They dissipate, right? They bust. So too the king will be temporary. Says Rashi, Nidmen nishtatek melch Shomron. The king of Shomron will be silenced. V'harehu keketzef she'al pnei hamayim. It's like the foam on the water. Shehu ushkama balaz. V'nishmedu bamois oven. And the bamois of oven, the high places, will be destroyed. This refers to the bamois of Beisel. Chatas Yisrael, the sin of Israel, koitz v'dardar, thorns and thistles. Yala al mizbechosim will grow on their altars. Va'amru, and they will say, Laharim, to the mountains, Kasunu, cover us, V'lagvois, and to the hills, Naflu aleinu, fall upon us. What does this mean? Says Metzudas David, Mimei hagiva, from the days, V'nishmedu, V'az yishmedu abamash v'beis oven shehim hayu chatos Yisrael. Then the altars, the shrines, of Beis Aven will be destroyed, Kartz v'dardar, and thorns and thistles will cover them. No one's going to come there. It will be desolate. Amru laharim kasunu. And the Jews will cry out to the mountains, cover us. They'll be ashamed, they'll be embarrassed. They'll say, just cover us over.
This is before the Churban.
Yes. Mimei hagiva, from the days of Giva, Chatasa Yisrael. Yisrael, you have sinned. We'll see what this refers to. What sin did the Jews sin from the days of Giva? Sham Amadu, there they stood. Loi Sasigem, it did not overtake them by Giva, at Giva, Milchama, the war, Al Bnei Alva, against the men of iniquity. What does this refer to? From the times of Giva you sinned, Israel. There they stood, they were not taken over by the men of iniquity in the war. What is this talking about? Says the Mitzudas David, Mimei HaGiva Ratzlaimer Avoin Zeh Haya B'Yadam. This sin was already in their possession. Mimei Pilegish B'Giva, from the times of the concubine of Giva. Kigam Az Haya B'Yadam Pesel Micha. Even back then, this sin of idolatry was not a new sin toward the end of Bayis Rishon. It was already early on in the time of the Bayis Rishon, from even before the Beis HaMikdash. In the times of Pilegish B'Giva, they already had Pesel Micha. In fact, Chazal say that Pesel Micha was taken out of Mitzrayim. They already had it in the Yam Suf. Shama Madu. There they stood. They stood on this level. Loi Sasigem. Therefore, Lachen Loi Sasigoisam Begiva Nitzach and Mechama. Therefore, it did not overtake them in Giva, the war, when they fought with the Bnei Avla, the Bnei Binyamin, who were Mechazik Yidei of the Avodah Zarah. What does this refer to? What does it mean that the Bnei Giva, the Bnei Avla, did not overtake them? That even when you fought the Bnei Binyamin, who were iniquitous, you were not successful in that war because you maintained Avodah Zarah. Let's see Rashi. Says Rashi, Mimei hagiva chatas Yisrael. Chatas zeh, not good, Rafi. Shula shenakeva. Ulisha'avar. This word, chatas zeh, this word chatasa Yisrael is without a dagesh. The Mincha Shai says that it's without a dagesh, shulashon nekeva. It's a feminine language. Usha'avar, past tense. Kamai asas bas azas yad mimei givas binyamin chatas Yisrael. From the days of the hills of Binyamin, you sinned. L'fi shahaya masa pilegish begiva bimei asnil ben Kenaz. Because of the story of the concubine in the times of Asnil ben Kenaz, shahaya rishon l'shoiftim. He was the first shayfe. Bimei kushan rishasayim. Uviyamav haya pesel micha. In his days there was this avodah zarah. V'chol zeh matzinu b'seder olam. This historical information is found in the Sefer Seder Olam. Shama amadu. Ba'oisa mida achzu lahem eyaz. That mida they grabbed then. Lo sasigem begiva milchama. They will not achieve in Giva war. Ulefi shahaya avoin akum bideyam. Because the Avir of Avodah Zarah was in their hands, v'yikpidu alav, they were not makbid on it. Lekach lo yitzlicham yadim v'melchemes hagiva b'nei Binyamin. That's why they were not successful in war against Benjamin. V'karam b'nei Alva, they're called b'nei Alva. How did we translate b'nei Alva? The Mitzudas David said b'nei Alva is
Arrogant. He says arrogant.
He says Avla, the Mitzudas David, iniquitous. Rashi says b'nei Gaiva. It's not Avla. Don't flip around the Vav and the Lamed. Rashi translates it as Alva, like Elyonim. They were too arrogant. V'lo yishamu b'kol achia. Achiyam l'seis b'nei hagiva. They did not listen to the voice of their brothers. Now, Targum Yonasan says the Avera was that they asked for a king and they made Shaul the king.
Because Shaul came from Gibeah.
But the Rashi does not agree with that interpretation. Okay. Pasuk Yod. Be'avasi ve'esarem. By my will, and I rebuke them. Ve'usfu aleim amim. The nations gathered against them. Be'asram, when they bound them, l'shtei oinoisam, to 2 furrows. Okay, so I'm sure you know what that means, so we don't have to explain it. Just okay. What does it mean? Be'avasi ve'esraim. With my will, I rebuke them. I afflicted them. I was miyasa them. Ve'usfu aleim amim, nations gathered against them. Be'asram, and I bound them to the 2 furrows. Says Mitzudas David. Be'avasi ve'esraim. Bertsoini liyasram. Avasi is like Kibach Hashem b'tzion Iva. Iva is lashon of desire. It is my will to rebuke them. V'chem ayasrem be'emes. And I did rebuke them. And the idolaters gathered to come upon them to war. Let's see Rashi. Rashi says, "Ba'avasi ve'esraim lefi ritzayni tamidi sartem mishoifet l'shoifet u'misartem biyad shoiseihem." According to my will, I rebuke them from shoifet to shoifet, from ruler to ruler, and I gave them into the hands of those who trampled upon them. And nations gathered upon them, and I bound them to the 2 furrows. Well, what is this talking about? It says Rashi, since the Navi is going to compare them to a calf, like it says in the next pasuk, Ephraim egla milumada. Ephraim is a trained calf. L'kachdima yisureim. Therefore, let's take the analogy to its full extent. We're going to compare their travails, lepara, to a cow, shemeyagin oisa becharisha, that you wear it out with plowing, va'asarum ba'oil hamacharisha, and you bind it to the yoke of the plow. V'simluni ha'oil noikvim v'yardim echad mekan v'echad mekan etzel shnei einei hashar. The simluni, what are the simluni means? He translates here, the peg of the yoke descend from each tie to the 2 sides of the eyes of the shar. So l'shtei oinoisam.
It's like iron.
I think so. It's like bound to the 2 eyes of the shar because it's coming down next to the sides of the eyes of the ox. Eitzel shnei inashar. V'chein Targum Yonasan kim.
He says that there's a similar word in Kalim that relates to plowing. It's a very rare word, but similar, used in this fashion in Kalim.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Pasuk Yud Aleph. Ve'Ephraim egla milumada. And Ephraim is a trained calf. Oyhavti ladosh. Now, it's an interesting word, the tense. It loves to plow. It almost sounds like I love to plow. We'll see what this means. V'ani avarti, and I passed over al tuv tzavara, the best part of its neck. Arkiv Ephraim. I will place Ephraim, I will ride upon Ephraim. Yacharosh Yehuda. Yehuda shall plow. Yisaded lo Yaakov. What does that mean? Yisaded lo Yaakov, and Yaakov will harrow. Let's see what this means. Let's see the Mitzudas David.
Break his claws.
Let's see Mitzudas David. The Ephraim. Says this is David. Hine Ephraim hu ke'egla shemargilin oisa la'avoidasa. Ephraim is like a calf that you train it in its work. Limshach ba'el, to pull the yoke, v'lachrosh, and to plow. V'yoheves ladosh. It loves to plow, l'man toicha min adayish, to be able to eat from what it threshes. Ratzaloi mer'ani lamadatim ha'torah mitzvahs. I taught it Torah mitzvahs. V'hem chafetzim b'kiba aschar mebli asoi samaisa. They just want the reward without doing anything. So what does this mean? Va'ani avarti, I passed over al tuv tzavara, the best part of its neck. Ratzaloimer, chipasti tzavara, I searched its neck. V'ra'isi shi toiva shmeina, I saw it's good and fat. V'ru'ya, and it's worthy, lasam ha'olala, to put the yoke on it. Ratzaloimer, ra'isi, I saw, sharoihu l'kabel alav ol ha'tara mitzvah, that it's roi to be makabel, the yoke of Torah mitzvahs. Arkiv Ephraim, I mount Ephraim. Lachein herkavti oil haTorah. Therefore, I mount the yoke of Torah al Ephraim. V'gam Yehuda yacharosh v'tzolamer yasik b'mitzvahs. So, what is the purpose of this pasuk? It sounds like that the Rebbeinu Shem is saying that there's a reason I selected you for all of this. It's sort of the Navi's taking a 90-degree left turn. Until now it's talking about the retribution against Ephraim, and now it's sort of going back in history and explaining why Hashem is punishing us and why He selected us for this service in the first place. Let's see the Radak for a moment. The Radak says, "Ephraim egla melumada, lamalam shilo lepara." Above it compared it to a cow. Sha'amar ki kafara serera saro yisrael v'ata kara egla. Now it's comparing it to a calf. What's the difference between a para and a calf? Just the age. It used to be compared to an old cow. Now it's a young cow. It's talking about the youth of Klal Yisrael. Bimei neurim limda hakel yizrach lacharosh. In their youth, Hashem taught them to plow. The hacharishim azriya hi asois hamasim. The plowing and the planting are the hard work. V'aktsiru pri hamasim. Harvesting is the reward. V'ani l'mati alasis hamasim tom k'nei lechol tov. And I taught it to do the good actions to be able to reap the benefits. V'hi me'an olachrosh. But it refused to plow. K'loimer l'asos hamasim tovim. Didn't want to plow. Didn't want to plant. All it wanted to do was harvest.
Yeah, and thresh, so it could eat.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do the hard work.
Yeah.
Threshing is a much easier.
Let me know when it's time to cash in. Ela tirtzalech v'hanas manatava shani noisna b'li ma'aseh tov shetasa ela b'chinam tirtzalech zeu she'amar al hafti ladosh. You love to thresh ladosh v'lei lacharosh, so to be able to eat at the time of disha.
Look at all the gain with no pain.
Now, oihavti means it loves. The yud is extra. So, what's going on over here? Va'ani avarti al tov tzavara, kishavarti al alas al lius tzavara, shamin. Asisu shleich badati ula. When I passed over Klal Yisrael, I saw their neck, it was fat, and I did it in a way not to be burdensome to them. Ki haparoi shemachvidim ulam tzavaram kachosh. A cow that you impose excessive weight on its neck, the neck weakens. Hashem says, the mashal is like this: I never gave you such a heavy yoke. Arkiv Ephraim. Says the Radak, Amarti laharkiv Ephraim. I said to be Markiv Ephraim, meaning, Kolomar, laharkiv olav o malchus Yeravam. To put upon them the yoke of the kingdom of Yeravam, Shahayim Yishevet Ephraim. V'kivan sha'ani herkavti alav ha'al, Amarti sheyaser etzoni. I thought that they would do my will. V'yitzaveh amla avdeni v'liyos tachas v'shusi v'mitzvoisai. Sha'amarti lai. So Hashem is saying basically the reason why He gave Ephraim Malchus is He figured if He gives them a king of their own, He would lead them in the right direction. Now Yehuda would just plow, because Yehuda didn't need a king; it already had a king. Okay, and finally Yisaded lo Yaakov. What is Misaded? HaMisaded hu hakosesh haragavim acharei hachoresh. The Misaded is one who crushes the clumps after plowing. L'shavis me'adama v'lasakna l'zriya, to
break up the soil to be able to prepare the water.
Yeah, to flatten the ground. V'chein, like the Pasuk says, Misaded amakim acharecha. V'melech Ephraim v'melech Yehuda ha'yicharshim mertzano kel yisbarach. If the king of Ephraim and the king of Yehuda would plow as God wanted, b'hacharisha hi as haras ha'am, the plowing is the warning of the people. Hayol am l'saded. V'hu l'sakein oznam v'limo divrei ha'azharash yimekam l'aleim mitzvos ha'soisam v'yazriya. Then, if the people would be misaded, and they would have prepared their hearts and opened up their minds to serve me, then Yaakov, which is Klal Yisrael, would be misaded, would be able to prepare their hearts to be makabel all ha-mitzvahs.
He has a little different take on it. He doesn't have an attribution, but he said that the cow prefers the threshing because that's not such tough work, and it can eat along the way. But he says that here, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is now going to make the Yidden do much harder work, that they're going to have to do drawing, plowing, and breaking up the soil because they weren't following the Derech HaShem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Pasuk Yud Beis. Ziru lachem letzedakah. Plow for yourself by righteousness. Kitzru lefi chesed. Reap according to kindness. Niru lachem nir. Plow for yourself a plowing. Ve'es lidrosh es Hashem. And a time to seek out Hashem. Ad yavai, until He comes. V'yoyra tzedek lachem. And teaches you righteousness. Let's see the Metzudas David. Ziru lachem letzedakah, l'toivaschem, for your benefit. Ziru es hatzdakah, plant righteousness. Laman tiktzeru tevuasa, so that you could reap your grain. Lefi hachased, according to the kindness shani oiseh that I'm going to do. Ratzleimer asut tzedakah usekablu gemul bechazdai. Do righteousness and receive reward in my kindness. Ki gemul maaseh atov gamhu lechesed techashev. As we know, there's what Hashem is saying: plant righteousness, and then you'll reap the rewards according to my kindness. Because the truth is that when Hashem rewards us for our ma'asim tovim, it's a chesed. He's doing us a favor. He doesn't owe it to us. Who came first? Hashem gave us everything. So any mitzvah we do is our payback to Him. He doesn't have to pay us back for our mitzvahs. He already gave us everything we have. Our mitzvahs are just merely payback to God. God, if we do a mitzvah, we're just paying Him back. Like the Pasuk says, Mi hikdimani va'ashalem. So therefore, Hashem says, but if you plant charity, you will reap because of my kindness that I pay you back, even though I don't really owe you anything. Niru lachem nir. What does this mean? It says Metzudas David, remove from your hearts, deois nefsadois v'koizvais. Remove from your hearts improper opinions and false ideas. Just like a plower plows his field to kill any bad weeds so it doesn't weaken the zara, and Eis Lidroi Shes Hashem, establish times to seek out Hashem, not haphazardly, not occasionally, in a steady way. Ad Yavai Ratzalaimer Kain Asu, so you should do. Ad Asher Yavai Hamakim Baruch Hu, until Hashem comes and He sends you tzedek min hashamayim, because He will not withhold your schar. So I want to show, let's see Rashi on this pasuk. Ziru lachem l'tzedakah. Ziru lachem l'tzedakah. Aval atem charashtem resha. But you plowed evilness. Lefikach v'ka'am shayin ba'amecha. Therefore, that's on pasuk Yodaled. We'll see. What does it mean, niru lachem nir? Rashi has a beautiful pshat here. Isku b'Torah. Learn Torah. Misham tilmadu laleches b'derech Torah. And from there, you will learn to go on the right path. L'hisgaber al yetzer hara. To overpower the yetzer hara. Kazeh shehu ner es hasada. The same way someone who plows a field. What does he do? La'afach sharshei ha'asavim. He overturns the roots of the grass that weaken the grain. Many days before he plants. In other words, by the same way the plower plows the field to uproot bad roots from the field so it doesn't ruin the tfuah, make time to learn is like plowing the field. How's it like plowing the field? It will uproot from your mind improper ideas. Ad yavoi v'yoyra tzedek lachem. Kishatiu yigeyim ba. When a person grows weary from learning, when you exert tremendous energy in Torah, hu yavin eschem, it will engender within you knowledge, to make you known the secrets of it in righteousness. Or another pshat says, Rashi davar acher, niru lachem nir, plow for yourself a plowing, asu masim toivim, make for yourself good actions, koidim she'avai aleichem halachatz, before you're oppressed. This will cause that your tefillah will be makabel when you need it. And then, and then it will be an appropriate time to seek out HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chol tzarchechem in all their needs. Ki az tishmat tza'akaschem, because then He will hear your outcry. Don't wait to give tzedakah until your time of need. Give the tzedakah in advance so that when you do have a time of need, your tefillos will be answered. V'yoyra tzedek lachem. He will shower you with righteousness. V'yamtir tzedakah lachem k'ma yar bayam. He will cause the rain of charity to fall upon you. Okay, we'll hold it over here and we'll do one more short thing.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.